And I have mono capture on. There we go. Hi,
Hi.
we're here. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Frag Logic number 89. Big 89. Oh, we got one more, then we're 90. 11 more episodes to go, and then we're at 100.
11 more.
11 more.
We worked out when it would be. Is that January? I think it's January.
I think it's, yeah, first or second week of January, I think is when we'll hit it. Should be good. Welcome. Today is pretty. I think this show might go by pretty quick.
Okay, well, it's the exact last week of December, actually. I
Is it?
think so.
Nice. So yeah, this week we have not a whole lot going on, to be honest. We got the Destiny patch that came out today. I was actually streaming for about 2 hours, literally like by maybe an hour before I think the patch went live is when I got off. So I didn't actually get to see the scout rifle in action. But Joel says, "What's up, Joel?" He says, "The 100th episode requires beer." We'll see about that. Um, but I mean, I'm looking forward to playing. I played one match of Crucible right before the show, and I couldn't tell a noticeable difference. It seems like there was more people trying out the scout, but ultimately, I think what's going to happen, Colin, is people are going to be like, "Fuck, this is way too hard. Let me go back to the auto rifle," and that's what I feel like is going to happen ultimately.
I just wonder if the difference is enough to even make a lot of weapons change that much. Like, it'll have the biggest impact on weapons that fired a lot of bullets. You know, like it took a lot of bullets to kill with fast refire rates.
Mm-hmm.
But those weren't really the problem. Like, I don't know if it affects Suros. I haven't done the math.
We'll see.
Which
Vex.
is pretty bad if it doesn't affect Suros.
The mythic class also got a big nerf. We'll talk about the patch here in a bit. So we're gonna talk about that Destiny. Obviously, we got our weekend gaming stuff. Colin put me on a new game. I got the Astro A38 wireless headsets. What's up, Hutchie? Gonna get to show you guys that. Talk a little bit about it. I just got it today, and I have no thoughts on it. Just I guess we're just gonna be like an unboxing on the show. DriveClub issues. Get to talk a little bit about some launch issues. It's been a while, Colin, since I've had to mention any launch issues with the game. But DriveClub right now is struggling. So I'll be looking forward to talking about that. Xbox One dashboard customization is something we're going to talk about, and then Evolve Alpha is coming back weekend of Halloween. They're calling this the big Alpha, whatever that means, and get to talk some more about I think the game and direction for it. What's up, Junglist? So, Colin, weekend gaming.
A little bit of Dota, little bit of Destiny, just a tiny bit. We did the raid the other night. Besides that, I haven't been on. Just not feeling motivated to play right now.
Yeah, I've been on every day, dude.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling it.
I
So I'm,
know.
I'm at the point where, gear wise, the only thing I need to do for gear is go fucking grab filaments and shit. That's just not fun in the slightest. So you know what? I put my foot down. It's like, fuck it. I'll do the raid with the guys, and that's it.
So that's all you're just gonna hop on for the raids?
I might do some PvP, but
I've been PvPing it up, man. I've been enjoying the hell out of PvP. Like Crucible all day, every day. I can't get enough.
I'm just waiting for Halo. I'm part of that group.
Oh, that's close.
Yep. Less than 3 weeks?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's the
What
11th,
else?
right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I want you to mention this one game, man.
and then there's a new game came out. I can't remember. I think someone on Twitter mentioned it, and then it made me go search for it. The game is called Terra Battle. That's a Terra battle, and it's from one of the former Final Fantasy developers, uh,
Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics.
tactics developers. Yeah, and it's quite good. I was gonna say in tradition.
Alan's gonna boot it up. You guys, I just want to show you guys I got it too.
So, eh. So you see it's grid based, and the combat's actually really similar to Puzzle and Dragon, which I've been talking about quite a bit recently, but I quit playing. And then you just put your finger down, and you can drag one unit. So then you can use it to move other units. So you can see I'm pulling some of the other ones poorly because I'm playing mirrored. But the idea is that you pull your other units into position, and you get everyone to line up, and then they'll assist each other in the attack. And deal damage based on which types of units and everything, how it's positioned. It's pretty damn good. And there's a lot of tactical. See, I'm already looking down there about to play. It's like, all right, let me see how to approach that. But it's actually like way more tactical than the other games of its genre, which would be like Bravely
Frontier.
Brave Frontier, Puzzle and Dragon. And there's like a bajillion clones that do the same kind of thing where they just kind of throw stuff at you. But the tactics in this are quite a bit deeper, I think, and the strategy is much more nuanced, and you need to actually plan things out. So yeah, I highly recommend downloading it. They're doing a thing where, based on how many downloads they get, they're releasing new content, which is kind of like, yeah, whatever, fine, because they're going to get tons of downloads.
Yeah.
They're already like over 400,000 downloads. Looks like a lot of Japanese players, no surprise. If you go to, they have like in-app video recording, and you can go watch people's videos, and like they're all Japanese titles on every single video, pretty much.
Interesting. Interesting.
That was
I didn't
a
realize that.
Terra Battle.
Terra Battle. So for me, it's been pretty much the same. Lots and lots of Destiny. Some Terra Battle when I'm not playing Destiny. I didn't throw up Hyrule Warriors, but I also played a little bit of that. And that's pretty much it for me. Borderlands, the pre-sequel came out today. Evil Within came out today. Those are two games that I'm considering getting. I'm going to talk to Christy again about Borderlands, which I think I mentioned last week as a game that I'll probably get and try to play with her. We'll see. Haven't been really feeling the reviews. It seems like for the most part I could just play Borderlands 2.
It's like the same DLC type reviews, but it's
And,
kind of like,
yeah.
yeah, it's all right, but
It's
it's not
all
really
right.
doing
I mean,
anything.
It's
Yeah.
more Borderlands, so I'll see what she says. You know, if it's not that, then you know the game that she loves is Call of Duty. So she's already said we're gonna get Advanced Warfare, and I'm actually probably gonna purchase my PS3 around that or PS4 around that time. So I might play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare on the PlayStation 4, which will be awkward.
You're not going to do that.
Awkward. I played it on PS3. It was, I mean, Colin, we've already had this discussion about PlayStation, folks. Let's not bring that up today.
Just saying, multiplayer.
Don't even go there, Colin.
If you want to play with the best, Kale.
I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna ignore you.
If you want to play with the best, you got to get it on Xbox.
Let's talk about. Talk about that Destiny patch.
It's alright though if you want to just beat up on the weaker players. If that's what you need to do for your YouTube thing. Be able to get some montage clips.
This guy.
Yeah, that's 2 angry comments on YouTube.
So Destiny patch came out today. Like I said, I played one Crucible match with the Calling Scout Rifle. Couldn't really tell a noticeable difference. As a matter of fact, here's what I'll say. We were in the game. We were playing Shores of Time. I actually can probably pull up the match. I can describe it to you guys. I think there were 2 people on my team using a Scout Rifle from what I could tell from audio cues, and the other team I think had maybe one or 2 guys using a Scout. One guy using a hand cannon. I remember some Surreals being used. Actually, one guy on our team was using the Mythoclast. Anyway, I don't remember the score being ridiculous, but they ended up quitting out. So we got an easy win, and I only played like 4 minutes of the match. So it's not even like I could get a good assessment of the buffs to scout rifle. It was like I went 14-3, and that's it. I mean, it was over. So I'm gonna link you guys the information for the game. I love Collar. I love the breakdowns. Oh, so good, so good. Bungie always getting it right when it comes to that. I think the biggest thing I wanted to see or am interested in seeing is how the auto rifles feel when playing against them. I've been using everything except for shotguns really, but I've been using auto rifles, pulse, the fusion rifles, snipers, scout rifles, hand cannons probably have the least amount of time on that, and then I've been mixing in some auto rifles here and there. So, I mean, the majority of players out there are using auto rifles. So, at least from what I've experienced in game, and I imagine if you look at the stats, it's probably heavily in favor of auto rifles.
Yeah,
But
and really, it's the stability change, which is the big one, in my opinion.
right. So
All of the precision damage, like I said, will affect the high fire rate stuff more so. But stability is the big one.
There's the game. So I had no assists, 14 kills, and then everyone on that other team, they all quit. So you guys are getting called out. DeLonger, what's Gucci, bro? I'm Master Flex, Spaceship Phil, Killzilla 97, Elastic Tinwood, all quit. Quitters.
Make sure you tag them in the video when you upload.
Okay.
So if they ever search their gamer tag,
that'll come up. Yeah, I'll make sure to do that.
Not just that, but they'll watch this entire video trying to figure out when they were mentioned and why.
So, yeah, I mean, that was the only Crucible game I played. I'll try to play some more, maybe after the show. Unlikely, because I didn't get a chance to see my daughter before we started, really. And the other thing that got nerfed was the Vex Mythoclast. 34.
I'm just saying, like, how badly did you fuck up the balance that it takes a 34% decrease in base damage?
Is it one less shot?
34% decrease.
Is that one less shot to kill?
Let me think.
I'm sorry, one more shot to kill.
I think that's what it is. So it was what? It was a four or five shot kill before?
4-shot kill.
Was it 4?
I think it was 4 or 3. Might have been 3. What's up, Hot Even?
I mean, yeah, I guess no matter what, it ends up being one more bullet, maybe 2.
I mean, it's not that bad. But then they buffed the headshot modifier, right?
Yeah.
So
I never saw anybody looking for headshots of that weapon.
They weren't. So, I mean, to read
it's still probably ridiculous.
With headshots, 4 all body. There, thank you, Klondike. Klondike.
That was before.
Yeah. So we have. Let me see. Fix some issues related to quick weapon swapping. I still don't know what that means. Auto rifles base damage decreased by 2%, which again, Colin, I think we both kind of will probably lean on that being negligible. Reduced precision damage multiplier from 1.5 to 1.25, which I think that's significant for the headshot bonus. Stability decrease anywhere between 4%. I imagine that's the highest end is 4%, and then the low end is 17%. And then that's driven by stat value. So I think the high end there, if you have a 17% decrease in your stability, that probably might be noticeable. Maybe. I mean, it's just so hard to tell, right? Like,
so, well, that'd be like 17% worse when you have already super low stability, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And then 4% at max stability.
Yeah. What's up, Steely? Hand cannons in-air accuracy has been increased. Now look, Colin.
Why haven't they done that for every fucking weapon?
Thank you.
Why haven't they done that for every weapon?
Thank you. What?
what do they have against people being accurate while they're in the air?
I don't know. That would definitely boost a lot of the people complaining about being able to jump and
Blink.
not
I mean,
having
it makes
right,
all the non-blink stuff better.
right. Like I don't understand that.
And
All these
makes the
people
game
complaining
more
about
fun.
that's just weird. It's a weird change to just do for hand cannons specifically, but okay. Scout rifles base damage increased by 6%. Again, I don't know if that's noticeable. Damage versus alien combatants increased by 6% to 25% based on tier. So that's for PvE stuff. Improved target acquisition plus additional recoil tuning. What do you think the target acquisition means? Is that auto aim with it? Or magnetism?
That'd probably be aim assist.
Okay, that's what I thought. Plus additional recoil tuning, which probably means they reduced it. The exotic weapons, specifically we mentioned the Vex Mythoclast. They increased the damage, precision damage from 1.25 to 1.5. The other one was Pocket of Infinity, which I hadn't seen a lot of people using this, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention to it when I was getting killed by it. But they enhanced the battery perk, which now has been replaced with speed reload perk. I don't know if that's any different.
Oh, it's probably way worse, right?
I'm thinking it is. I'm not sure what the enhanced battery perk is.
I don't know. Sean had that weapon. It was firing ridiculously fast. Increased magazine size, minus 30 reload was what it did.
Okay. And then they did some stuff to strikes. They actually nerfed one of the loot caves. Second loot cave, I think that everyone was using. And that's about it. I mean,
They
that's
fixed an exploit in the raid. Just one,
Oh.
which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I said it on Twitter. They're really slow with the AI fixes, which is what really needs to happen, right? And like fixing some of these strikes so they aren't exploitable. Haven't seen anything yet.
I don't. I mean, we did it before the patch, right? Yeah, we did it right before.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that one's a small one. Like they just made it so you can't go out on top of the platforms during the Templar. But I mean, like every single strike has spots where you can sit where people don't even fight you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's the stuff that should be getting addressed, and they haven't addressed it at all on any of the stuff yet.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious. I mean, I know it's a harder fix, but they had to have expected it coming in that stuff wouldn't be bulletproof.
We'll see.
Maybe they don't care. I don't know.
I feel like
I think it makes everything super meaningless when it's like, all right, I'm gonna play some strikes with some random dudes. Then you get to the end and everyone just goes to hide in the spot.
Yeah, it's pretty cheesy. I'm looking forward to. I mean, based off of what information they released, this sounds like there's another very big patch in the works, and I believe they're going to address the pulse rifles next, and a couple exotics, Bad Juju, the Thorn, also supposed to get some love. And I imagine they're going to tune a number of other exotics and stuff to make them feel a little bit more powerful. So, you know, overall, I mean, I'm impressed with this first patch. I just want to see it be a little bit more consistent. And like Colin said, from a PvE standpoint, I want to see some continued AI tuning, like much more frequently than what we've seen so far.
They haven't done it at all. Like there's been nothing. All they've added is like they've added some kill triggers to some areas, and they've reduced spawning in caves. Like that's it. I just wonder if they're even equipped to be able to make those kind of changes.
What do you mean equipped, Colin?
Like actually be able to release that kind of an update without a proper patch. I don't know.
Colin,
Or if they care. I don't know.
remember all the funds that went into this game? Of course they're equipped.
Haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen it.
Just me that these patches feel planned, as if they intended to release these on a deliberate time frame, knowing about the issues. That is very possible, Joel. I mean, you do know about some issues prior to a game's release, and then you're actively working out which ones you're going to work on first and then prioritizing them that way. Um, I don't know if the patches are necessarily something that they are deliberately trying to plan out. I mean, you had things like the loot cave, right, which is just strictly user based. That's no way that they could have figured that out, I guess, but there with the people testing the game. That's something that was only appeared in the live environment and then they patched it afterwards. So I don't know if that's necessarily something that they planned for or if it's something that just happens to coincide with some of the general things that they wanted to update anyway. So we'll see. The other thing I want to mention is the Iron Banner event. It ended today, was the last day. I participated in it. Obviously, Colin didn't even play. Like, fuck that shit. And I kept telling him,
It's the same shit.
Listen,
Same
I said
shit.
to Colin, I was telling all, I was like, listen, guys.
Same shit.
I was like, you can't do that. Like, I've been struggling in the Iron Banner. You need a team.
Because people
like,
quitting?
Yeah, people on my team would just quit. It'd be 3 versus 6 or 2 versus 6, and it's like, oh, well, I lost. And I've been doing pretty well, but I mean, Colin.
It brings a pretty interesting. I think there's an interesting discussion to have about the effects of rewards on how people behave in multiplayer games. Because the people going into that playlist were going into that playlist specifically to grind out rewards. And then they were leaving and being like really toxic players as a result of how those were structured. Which, for those who don't know, if you lose the match, you don't get marks. Or you don't get Crucible experience or Iron Banner experience. So what people would do is the moment they started losing, they just left. And Bungie, when asked about it, like people complained, they said, let me pull up the exact quote. Oh, wait, you copied it like this. Hold on.
I gave the link.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the weekly update link since that's where you did. So the question was, sadly but predictably, not everyone is so confident in themselves. What are you going to do about all the quitters? Please remind players that, win or lose, they get Crucible marks, XP, and gear rewards for completing the match. As with all things Destiny, we're looking at the data and we'll come up with a plan to address it in future events. So essentially they're saying, hey, you still get Crucible marks, still get XP, still get gear rewards at the end of the game. And really, I feel like the response was kind of tone deaf to what was actually happening.
Yeah.
Which was actually like a lot of their wording during this post was pretty tone deaf. But yeah, it's interesting that when they have a playlist like that, then you have a mechanic like that, and people just don't mind being toxic, you know?
Yeah. And this brings up another point that I think is really interesting. When people complain about or are frustrated by the fact that they are on top of the list in this in a Crucible match, they're scoring unbelievable amounts of points, and then the guy at the bottom of their team gets some awesome reward, and they don't get diddly. This is the structure that happens. This is a very clear indication of what happens in these type of environments when you just reward the people at up top and you disregard everyone else on the bottom. You get quitters, you get people that will stop trying, you get people that obviously stack teams so that they can continue to run through and make other people quit. That is the environment that you guys are asking for by saying, oh, just reward the players at the top. Don't reward the players at the bottom and make it all based off of the performance that you have in game. I feel like that is what type of mentality that is training people to get. So if you're automatically at the bottom of your list, you're doing shitty, and you don't get a reward because of your performance, why would you play that, right? Why would you play? Even the best players, if you're playing, even if they stack it up right, and you're playing the Colin, if it's us versus the Insanes, 09, somebody is gonna struggle that game, right? Like they're either gonna break even, somebody's gonna have a performance. If you keep matching those same people against each other, you're gonna continue to have performances where you don't do well. That's just what's gonna happen. You're gonna get shafted. Someone else is going to get rewarded. It doesn't feel good, and that's why they have to go with RNG in those playlists, which accommodates everyone and keeps everyone actively playing. So
You could argue that the reason that the person at the top feels shafted when someone below him gets items is more that he didn't get anything. Like I feel equally shafted, regardless of where I am, if other people get something and I don't get anything. Like like there's this that's the kind of psychological
Perhaps.
bit
I mean,
behind it. This is
the
psychological. Yeah.
the thing I feel like is like I know it's random. Like I know I've been rewarded. I've seen other players rewarded. I've gotten stuff. I've gotten coins. I've gotten motes of light. I've gotten legendaries. I've gotten exotics. Like I've gotten the full array at this point in time after this many hours of playing. I know it's completely random. So no, I don't feel shafted at all. It's just like luck of the draw.
So you're saying that it doesn't. If you have a good game and you're feeling like you're feeling it. You feel like you're on top of the world. You're in the mood. You're like hell yeah, this is going well. I kicked ass that time. That it's not like a negative reinforcement after the game when you don't get anything and someone else on your team gets something. Like to me, like that's a bit of a buzzkill.
If you know
And I
it's
think that's
random,
where a lot of it's coming from. I
if
mean,
you
it doesn't
know it's
matter if you
random,
know it's random. It's like essentially like, hey, you finished this game. Here's a lottery ticket. You scratch it and lose, and it's like, oh, like it doesn't matter. I guess really it doesn't matter that other people got something. It's that I didn't get anything, which I think is it's just like a constant reminder that other people are getting stuff. You know what I mean?
but like I said, you get stuff too. You just got to keep playing.
Sometimes.
Whereas an Iron Banner, if you're always like if you suck and you're always losing, you will never get you will never get anything. As opposed to there's a possibility that you'll get something just by continuing to play. Iron Banner, you will not get anything.
Yeah, I mean,
No rep. Versus random. Which one to you enforces the worst behavior? If we're talking about the
Well, no, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying I'm kind of playing devil's advocate for why people would be
I'm,
upset when people that perform worse
I
get items
totally
and they don't.
understand. Look, Colin, I totally understand. Listen, I shit you not, I played 8 games 2 days ago. 8 games on Monday straight. Or, was it Monday? I think it was yesterday. I think I played 8 games straight, right? I won one game. I was at the top of the team every single game. Every single game. And I had 5 other dudes every single game either quit or do awful. I'm talking negative, like, they were like going like point 0.7, point 0.6, point 0.5. 8 games straight. 8 games straight. And I'm like, they're getting rewards. It's just like, hey, this is the luck of the draw for me. I actually checked my win percentage on Crucible, and it's at 50%. I play solo a lot, obviously. For those of you guys that don't know, I play solo Crucible a whole hell of a lot. Mix it in when I can with some people in the Sky Captains. But for the most part, like it's the matchmaking just throws me in with some people that are of my skill level. Sometimes it throws me. That's the biggest thing that I have an issue with is that I get these widely varying teams that just don't feel right. Right? Like some games, I'm on the team that's just destroying people, and it seems like it could easily say, okay, those 3 people need to be on the other team. These 3 people are on the same team. All right, let's go. Because sometimes it keeps you in the same match. That's the other thing that doesn't even make sense. It keeps you in the same server with the same people and puts you on the same team over and over and over again, even if they're not in a party. Those are the things that don't make sense. If you want to be upset about something in Crucible, I feel like those are the things that need to be brought to attention, not the fucking rewards. That's me. That's me. So,
I
look,
saw a picture the other day of a guy who went 0 and 4. 0 and 4 with 1 assist. He might as well have not been in the game.
right.
He got an exotic and a purple Ingram.
Ooh-wee!
Like, and we've all been in a strike or a raid, as Drazy's mentioning, where you just have the one guy you have to keep picking the fuck up over and over and over because he keeps dying, and it's like he isn't even trying.
Right.
And then you finish up, and everyone has an equal chance to get items. Just saying, it's a bit frustrating. To me, it's like the same issue with not having items drop from the bosses, where you don't have like that immediate moment where you did something good and you get something for it. Like that, I feel like is really important to a loot game, and it's something which, hell, man, Diablo does it so well, where you just finish off a boss and it's just and then you kind of filter through, and then you see that the legendary or exotic, and you're like, oh shit, nice, and then you pick it up. But now it's like you kill the boss, you wait a bit, and you don't get anything sometimes, or you or you get something that sucks, or you get something good. But like it's delayed, and
Right.
in the end, like because you didn't get all this little shit, it's like it's delayed, and then you're waiting, and then you get nothing, and it's like, oh, so that was all for nothing. It's just not the same as when you kill it and then nothing drops sometimes.
I don't know.
They do a lot of stuff where like the reinforcement is delayed or isn't there at all. And seeing other people be happy doesn't make me any happier.
Why not? Why can't we all be happy, Colin? Why can't you be happy for someone else's happiness?
Because that dude just joined the match and then they rolled the dice equally for all of us. It had nothing to do with how long he was in the game. He just joined the game. He just joined the game and then it rolled.
I just don't understand how people can be upset at RNG. Like, RNG is random.
It's not though. In other games, like in Diablo, it's based on how many enemies I kill.
In
right?
PvP, Colin. In PvP.
In PvP, it'd be based on how many enemies I kill. Almost every game does it that way.
That would just discourage people from hopping in Crucible.
If the only reason they're hopping in Crucible is to get unlocks, and they will quit matches if they aren't getting any progress towards their unlocks, I'd rather not have them in PvP. If that's the type of player that PvP is attracting right now, and it's solely because of the rewards, I don't want those guys in my game. And I realize that's not what you have to say as a game developer, because you want as many people in multiplayer as possible.
Right.
But if the type of person that this mode attracts is people who are playing strictly to get their unlocks, they are doing strictly their daily bounties using whatever random-ass weapon or combination or playstyle
Doesn't
that it
Iron Banner
does.
reinforce what you're saying?
No, because they're just for the unlocks. Yeah, I think Iron Banner sucked. Like, I don't think Iron Banner was great. I think the way it was structured was shitty design. I'll say that personally.
Aren't you saying
Yeah,
those
I'm saying it's
people
the
that are
same
in
way.
Iron
I'm
Banner
saying
need to
like
get the fuck out of the game?
yeah, if they're in there strictly for that and they're willing to leave a game because they aren't getting a point towards an unlock, then I don't want them in any game. I don't want them in my objective games, most of all. Because those are the people that won't play the objective. They're going to play strictly for whatever they have to get for their challenges, their dailies, and then that's it. Like, those aren't people that makes a shitty PvP experience for everyone else when someone is playing strictly to get those unlocks. Right. And to me, that is shitty game design too.
I mean, look,
it's not that clear in the game because of the way they structure things, and like individual skill really isn't that important in the grand scheme of a 6v6 TDM match.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you don't notice it. You don't get too upset about the guy on your team that went 2-14 because it didn't really matter. And it's not like a hyper competitive game anyways. There's no ranks or anything like that. But I never feel like I'm tied to anyone else in the match. I don't feel like they're playing off me or working together towards strategies or working together towards objectives. Because there's only one fucking objective mode in the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's just toxic. They're breeding a very toxic community with Destiny, I feel, in the multiplayer based on the way things are structured. And I think that Iron Banner, which was the most toxically structured of all, exposed that a bit. Yeah, everyone's playing for unlocks. They aren't playing for the good of the game. They aren't playing to even enjoy the game half the time. They're just playing to work towards the next part of the progression, and they're thinking about themselves solely, which I feel like is just really shitty. It's going to really tie their hands in the future. Yeah, could you imagine a CTF game with everyone trying to get their fucking hand cannon kills?
That would be absurd.
Could you imagine how frustrating that would be?
That'd be absurd.
Like, all they can do is TDM, because you can play by yourself. And you can just go about your merry way.
Yep. The thing that I think that you hit on, right, is that Bungie, based on the current design that they have for Iron Banner and possibly Trials of Osiris, which we don't know much about it, but it sounds like it's going to be in a similar competitive structure.
If you leave a match in Temples of Osiris, you'll lose your mode of light, I believe. I mean, you lose your game. I would think.
So
if it's not that way, then they're really fucking dumb.
Right. So let's say hypothetically, and I have heard this, right? So if you quit out, right, you're just done. I think it's if you lose 3 in a row, you're done in there. That's a rumor for Trials of Osiris.
You lose 3 games, period.
Yeah. So Iron Banner to me is like the light version of that. And I feel like from some of the things that they've implemented, I feel like maybe they had different teams working on different playlists and ideas and structures, but there was no cohesive like this is the mantra that we want players to kind of go by. This is our code of conduct within these PvP walls. This is the structure that we want. They don't obviously Crucible. They don't really care. I think based off of the mission structure, the bounty structure, the work towards progression, which you mentioned, none of that is in there. And Iron Banner exposes all of that shit and brings it to light. The type of player that breeds by not having those design rules in place to say if you quit, you're going to get penalized, or at the very least, something negative is going to happen. You're not going to get a reward. Maybe you get a timeout bonus in Iron Banner. Maybe you get your bounty reset. Something like that happens if you're not going to finish out your game. At the very least, to give your other teammates a winning chance.
And it goes into, we talked about it a bit last week, but I think console game devs are terrified of negative reinforcement.
Yep.
Terrified. Even if it means a positive experience for the rest of their player base, they are terrified of negatively reinforcing toxic behavior. And that shit's gotta change. It's gotta change. And at least it sounds like if they do Temples of Service right, that'll be a negative reinforcement for quitting. Because you'll lose your shit. It's also a negative reinforcement for going for your dailies instead of trying to win. You know what I mean?
Yo, Dark Souls doesn't give a
wouldn't do that.
fuck about you.
Console FPS. I should go and say console FPS.
Dark Souls doesn't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, I'm talking about the AAA.
Yeah, I know. So, with that being said, obviously we're railing on some of their decisions right now, as we've been continuing to do, mostly on PvE. But one of the things that I think is worth mentioning. Now, this could be cut here within the next couple months, but 1 month after playing, and I honestly I don't feel like this could even be said for Titanfall. I feel like about 3 weeks in, people were like, "Fuck, I'm done with this game." Right? Like I felt like that was some of the consensus from a lot of forum posts, all this stuff from people. There's still 3.2 million players playing every day in Destiny.
It is weird drawing the comparison to Titanfall, because it was like people were saying, "Man, the game's really good, but I'm done." And
right?
to Destiny, it's like, "Man, this game sucks, but I'm still playing."
I'm done. It's like, what?
But I'm still playing.
That's what I don't understand about fucking Titanfall, and that's why like it irks me to no end that people like try to rail on the game and talk about the game being dead, and it's like that was a fucking good ass game, and then people were just like fucking attention spans of goldfish right now, like they
it's
can't
like,
play it.
Yeah, it was good, but there wasn't a lot of stuff for me to unlock afterwards. It's like, what?
I don't get it. Anyway, still 3.2 million people playing, despite all the shit that you've been reading about what's wrong with Destiny. That's still a hell of a lot of people playing that game, logging in online, mind you, to play this game and finish their mission, do their loot, whatever the case may be. That's a lot of people fucking playing the game. I would love to see
multi-plat. It has to be stressed.
Yes, right, multi-plat, obviously, but I'm very interested to see maybe in 3 months what the population numbers are looking like after Advanced Warfare comes out, after Halo Master Chief Collection comes out. Borderlands is out right now. Pre-sequel, we'll see if that dips into anything, although based on what people are saying, I don't think it will too much, and I think it might be short-lived.
COD and Halo.
Halo are the two ones. That'll be the real indicator of where Destiny stands, I think, for a long-term type of franchise. At the very least, I think it'll definitely take a hit on the numbers. But they actually released at a pretty good time, Colin. I mean, if you look at what was initially a stacked fall season, turned into a pretty dismal, I think, release of games. Like, for the most part, there's nothing coming out.
All the multiplayer stuff moved out. Like, there were more games planned, but they all got bumped.
So, I mean, I don't know if you want to call it luck of the draw, great planning on their part, but getting out ahead of the games and releasing right now, it seems like it's definitely worked in their favor. So I can't knock them for that.
Yeah, I think by end of year, I'd be surprised if that was over 2 million. I'd even say like 1.5.
Cut in half. I still think, and then of the 1.5, I think the majority of them are going to be
lots
on
of PlayStation guys, yeah.
Yep.
And Xbox 360.
Yeah, because once that Master Chief Collection comes out, I'm telling you, dudes are going to be piecing out. Like we'll see ex Halo pros back, like talking about on Twitter, like this is the next game. Let's go MLG. Let's go.
Be
So we're
lots of
gonna see.
people nostalgia in general.
Yep. So
And then you
I
have December Halo 5 beta.
would love it.
That'd be the. There's no way Destiny's gonna have people unless they do some kind of massive expansion by end of year, which I
Well,
don't
they
think
got
is
the
planned.
expansion in December.
Well, they have
That's when it's supposed to come out.
DLC. DLC. I'm saying like they'd have to be massive.
Well, I already know it's not going to be massive.
Yeah.
It's going to be content that we probably should have had in the first place. But
Well, contents that's 80% in the game already.
so yeah, we won't talk about that. All right. Let's see. I want to show you guys my new Astro headset that I just got today. I did not pay for this, so disclaimer if you're watching. I actually got it. Someone gave it to me at work. Wasn't even given to me by Astro, so don't be like, oh, you're a fucking sellout. That's not what happened. So I got the 838. These are fresh. They even have the brand new smell. I got them in the bag right here. It's an 838 wireless edition. I think they came out in September. Still got the tape around them. You guys can see that. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah. They're they feel a little bit smaller than these A30s that I have on. I'll go ahead and put them on. But let me see. They run Bluetooth 3.0. They're made for mobile gaming, music, and they have voice comm in it. They have built-in microphone, I think. I think it's on the bottom, too.
Made for mobile gaming. What does it even mean?
They feel tight. Definitely smaller.
How would you say the sound is?
Integrated mix amp is in there. This is somebody is saying. They feel good. Now, I think Colin, when we were back doing reviews, I don't really do reviews anymore for a lot of different reasons. If you guys know them, I think I've expressed them a couple times, but I'll go ahead and divulge. Because I now work in the industry, I find it very kind of controversial to have reviews of products or games or anything
really.
of that nature, because we work so closely with so many different partners and stuff. So I can't really be like, oh, I'm going to review this. I will say, I mean, I give really some general thoughts about stuff. It felt a little tight cushiony. Like we talked about this, I think, years back with the A30s. You keep it on your head, it like heats up your ears. I kind of was getting a little bit of that. The rubber on the earpieces feel a little bit different though. So I'd be interested to see how it plays out. More stuff about this though is AAC wideband, high fidelity. Let me see. This is just stuff that they rattled off. 20 hours of music playback. 5 hours of full charged. I think that's based off of if you are. That might be gaming. Yeah, mobile gaming might be 5 hours.
Why would it matter?
I don't know. That's weird. They have 2 different hours listed.
Like 5.1 versus.
Perhaps.
That's weird.
Retails for $230. Pretty expensive, but again, it is wireless, so they do have that going for it. I'm heading to Orlando in a week and a half, and I'll be taking them there so I can get to see how they work and stuff. So it should be good. So there's some product. We haven't had a product since the Razors that you're wearing right there, the Krakens.
Yeah, I think it does say hardware over there too.
Yeah, we got some hardware. Every once in a while,
We've met our banner commitment.
So yeah, that's the Astros. Again, I'll talk some more about them maybe in a couple weeks after I have worn these and had them in use. Let's talk about DriveClub, man.
Sure.
It's a PlayStation 4 game, obviously.
How many racing games have you played in the last 5 years?
Mario Kart 1. Oh wait, 5 years? No, I played. When did Blur come out? 2008. I think
Maybe.
Blur came out in 2008, which doesn't count then. Hold on, I gotta look at the release date of Blur.
I can say pretty definitively zero. I played Blur for like a couple hours.
It came out in 2010. So I played Mario Kart and Blur. Those are the only two racing games I have played in the last 6 years. Before that was maybe the first Forza. Before that was Gran Turismo. Before that was Mario Kart. That's pretty much been it, my racing experience. Mario Kart, Gran Turismo, Forza. Oh, I take that back. I played Need for Speed. Some game I played through Machinima. That was forced though. That was forced. Well, not forced. I volunteered to play it through promotion that they were doing.
You know what? I did Trackmania for a bit,
There you go, Colin.
and I did Burnout for that film competition for MLG. You remember?
Oh yeah.
We got that money. Got paid. That's where Sean did. He entered into the stunt portion of the thing, and then he
Yeah.
just went on to one of those Trackmania courses where all you do is just hold W, and it just like flies you through the course, doing all sorts of crazy
Oh,
acrobatics.
yeah, I remember that. I
And
remember
then,
that.
then people were calling him out on it in comments, but it didn't matter. He got first place. There's still a couple of comments, and it's like, look at my video where I exposed Wraith Zen. It's Trackmania. So
Exposed.
he posted to it. He's like, you got exposed. MLG should ban you for life, he said.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But yeah, I got like $250 from that. I think Sean got 500.
Wow. People's Mafia, you said you only played the demo of Blur, didn't bother to buy it. So we worked at eBash at that time. I didn't buy it either, man. Got that. I was playing that for free.
It's a pretty good game.
Uh, got exposed. Wow, I'm gonna have to remind Sean that he got exposed.
I happened to be looking for it a few months ago, and I saw the comments. It's just too funny.
So I will link this article from Polygon for you guys, so you guys can read a little bit of what we're talking about. If you have not noticed, what the did it do that? Click the Google link. If you haven't heard, DriveClub is having some pretty substantial launch issues, and one of the article that I actually linked you guys is that they're considering compensation for players, that either that being free DLC or some type of rewarding game. Who knows what it is, but they've been having a lot of woes. And what's interesting, Colin, I think about this one in particular is that this game was delayed. No beta. Delayed. They come out on launch and half the people can't play. Now, furthermore, I was reading into this. They have some of the cars unlocked. Like you can play like a single player portion, but some of the cars are unlocked and you earn them in the single player, but you can't use them unless you get online. So you unlock cars, Colin, and you can't even use them unless you get online, and their online stuff doesn't even work right now.
Yeah, I thought the entire game was just supposed to be built around the online stuff. Seems pretty big to not have that stuff working at launch.
Look, I mentioned to you guys I'm not going to talk about launch games having issues for the most part because I've experienced it now firsthand. Just because we're a little indie studio. We weren't prepared for the amount of traffic.
I'm not sure. Not sure it applies.
Right. But we didn't delay the game. We didn't announce a date and then change it, and then which was it 6 months later, Colin? Was DriveClub initially a launch title?
I don't know. I know it was part of their initial marketing push for the PlayStation.
I feel like it was a launch title and therefore got delayed a year.
And Sony's the publisher. I mean, they had to have had so much money behind this game.
Anyway, so needless to say, I feel like it's inexcusable. And what I've heard is, or that I read, I think it was in some comments, right? Like people were like, yeah, they won't let us play the demo either. So people can't even like try it before they make a final assessment, or they didn't have a demo, right? Or a beta or anything like that. So you couldn't do anything. They built all this hype around it. The game is delayed. You're like, okay, I can't wait to play. I can't wait to play. I can't wait to play. It's Bay and Dron said, yeah, it was. It was a launch title initially. All right, so it's delayed a year, guys. This is almost inexcusable, I think, at this point when you start putting all these things together. But it comes out. They have no beta. They're talking about all these issues that they have. They cancel or at least put on hold the free PlayStation Plus version of the game for the PlayStation Plus users. So that's not there right now because they don't want another surge of players coming in and then making things even worse. Reading the article, they said that they were bugs, server bugs, rather than not having the capacity to hold people. They actually said that there's bugs in the code causing all of these issues. So I'm hoping that they have some type of speedy recovery for the issues that they're facing. But I feel like this has always been like this has been structured to fail, right? Like, how are you gonna wait a year to release your game, work on it, fine tune it, do all these things to make this online experience work, and then not even beta test it, like stress test your stuff? We talk about this all the time. There's nothing. They just wanted to. I think they just wanted to get people off that hype, man. Just waiting on DriveClub 2. That's right.
DriveClub 2.
This game just came out. They're waiting on DriveClub 2 right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just missing some really weird stuff as well, from what I've read.
I'm just really surprised, and I think this is one of the games that you and I were kind of loosely talking about a year ago as one of the racing games that kind of caught our eye.
Any game that does like really innovative stuff around multiplayer and online experience always kind of catches my eye. But unfortunately, it seems like a lot of those games also end up in the same kind of scenario where stuff just doesn't work, or it's not what it was worked up to be initially. Like Division's gonna be another one that I'm kind of skeptical on because of some of the stuff they claimed early on.
Well, Ubisoft has a tradition now.
They at least have a track record.
Yeah, they have a track record of This is what I was going to say. They have a track record of making all these grand promises and then delivering a very underwhelming experience, but they usually get the sales, right?
Yeah, and they also have the experience to pull it off, which I guess is more so what I was going for a track record initially.
Yeah, but that's a double-edged sword with them.
They're capable and they have the resources.
Yes, for sure.
But it rarely comes together.
And then their biggest one was Watch Dogs, right? Like,
yeah,
that was the biggest grand scheme game that was, I think, kind of underwhelming, to say the least. The other interesting bit about this is Paul Rachinsky. I'm not sure what he is. Creative director, maybe? That might be who it is. They're creative director for the studio behind this. They had all these, I think it was Polygon that had all these articles talking about it, and some other people reposted. And one of his tweets, like the very last tweet, says, "Sorry guys, unfortunately I won't be able to respond to DriveClub queries in the short term. Please follow DriveClub for updates." And the reason he had to stop responding, he's a game director there at Evolution Studios, but because the site started picking up his tweets and posting his tweets as part of their articles that they were structuring about the issues with DriveClub. So probably someone at Sony, because you said Sony published it, was like, you need to get the fuck off Twitter right now.
Yeah. Well, especially because he had said they were considering their options in regards to refunds.
Yep.
Which is kind of an admission to fault, right?
Yep. Not good. Not good. So yeah, that was DriveClub. I don't know how many of you guys have the game. I'd be interested to know if anyone in the chat or on YouTube has DriveClub. Let us know what you have experienced so far on the game. Very interested in seeing comments about it. I can't wait to kind of see what you guys have to say. The other thing that is pretty big is Evolve is now coming out with their Halloween Alpha big event.
Have you heard any details on this?
Nope.
Like outside of like their news blog post stuff?
Nope. I've heard.
I'm just a bit surprised because I was in the initial alpha and I haven't gotten any email.
Me either. I think they wanted to get another surge and people registering for it since people knew that there was an alpha going on and a lot of people didn't get in it. So this might be an opportunity to be like, oh, and you can't really talk about the alpha. So I can't say the things that I really want to say about the alpha. But this particular one plans to or aims to stress test the servers. So I imagine they're going to allow a big group of people to come in. They're going to make balance assessments. They're going to tweak unlock rates, and they're going to test their matchmaking system. I am hopeful that they will be able to resolve some of this, but I feel like, Colin, having a weekend alpha event doesn't do a whole lot.
Weekends, yeah. that's it.
I don't know how their alpha is going to do all of that in a 3-day weekend.
So marketing heavy.
Especially
because ideally you want to be able to test and then iterate and then test some more. You want to be able to verify your fixes on the large scale.
Yeah.
So the idea of having it one weekend doesn't make sense to me, but we'll see.
That's why I said I feel like it's. That's why I said big event. I don't know what else to really say about this. It all sounds weird to me the way this is structured. I'm only hoping that they can fix a number of the issues that I experienced in the initial alpha back in August or July, whenever it was, and hope this one is enjoyable for the people that get to play.
Even though they have a bit of time to launch, this is kind of like, if I'm in the alpha, it'll be more of a purchase intent type thing where I may decide not to get it or to get it based on the alpha. I think there's probably a lot of people in that camp.
I would agree with you, Colin. Now, here's the other thing that's kind of disturbing to me, and this is why I don't really like that this alpha is 2-day or 3-day event versus 2 weeks or something like that of stress testing. They're going to do this, and then they're going to launch the open beta sometime in January. Mind you, this is, again, they're calling it open beta. Mind you, the game's release is slated for February 10th. They have no date on the open beta in January 2015. It could be at the beginning of the month, the middle of the month. Hell, it could be right at the end, and we get 2 weeks of open beta right before the game comes out. So
it wouldn't surprise me that was like the game industry takes off like December 15th through January 10th-ish. Right?
Yes. So that's why I'm like, oh shit.
Unless you have a game coming out during that time, which is rare, then you pretty much have those 3 weeks off.
We don't even have to say it. We don't even look. I didn't even say that, right? I didn't even say it, Kupo. And if you're on YouTube, I'm not even going to repeat what Kupo just said. But
no, that's basically what it is.
It's basically what it is. That being said, look,
even this alpha, there's time, but not a lot of time.
Yeah, that's true, right? Like this is
right really you have like a month and a half, right?
Yep.
Month and a half to make your changes, and really they are probably trying to be gold by early Jan, mid Jan.
Probably. Colin, this is gonna make or break. Like, do you remember how hype I was after playing that demo that I got to play at PAX, the PAX demo?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this game is the shit. I was tearing people up. Then I played that alpha. You guys haven't heard me say 2 peeps about Evolve.
But we had mentioned a bunch of our suspicions before the alpha.
Yes. Now, I hope I get into this alpha and I hope I'm blown away. But like you said, this could be make or break for whether or not I purchase the game. It's just where I'm at right now with it. So, again, let me mention this to everyone again. Halloween weekend, they are going to have an alpha for their big event. They're going to stress test servers. They're going to make balance assessments, unlock rate changes, and they're going to test their matchmaking system.
Yeah, if you haven't signed up, there's probably still time.
Yes.
Since if I haven't got an email, I doubt they've run that stuff yet.
Open beta starts in January 2015, presumably. Again, Colin, like you mentioned, somewhere around that, I would say 8th beyond time frame because of the way a lot of studios do winter break and Christmas holidays, all that stuff. So that's it on Evolve. I wish I could talk about it more, but I can't. Bom, bom. All I can say is I wish that we had more time.
That's pretty much all we have, right? Like this
That's
is
all we
pretty
got.
light,
That's
light
all we
week.
got. I go into Q&A session, talk about the dashboard updates. Finally, Colin, this is a good topic of discussion. I think I can muster up from this because I've been thinking about this for a while. So if you guys got questions, hit us up.
Will either of us play Evil Within? I'm probably not going to.
No, I don't play horror games. I told the story the very first episode of the show. I'm not going to tell it again. I had Tremel from formerly of Sony Online, now with Blue Streak or Blue
Yep.
Streak. Yeah, Blue Boss Key,
Bosky.
but he's
Blue
on
Streak.
Blue Streak. Blue Streak is the project name.
Yeah.
With Cliff Blazinski, but the I lost my train of thought.
Horror games.
No, Xbox One dashboard. No, I'm not going to talk about the horror game. I'm not talking about that game. I don't play horror games. Anyway, Xbox One dashboard customization is coming in the next update. So you'll be able to customize your dashboard with themes, backgrounds, and you'll be able to take screenshots. There is no solid release date. And the big thing I'm looking for is friends list optimization. It was down for 24 hours or whatever. I don't know how it was down, why it was down, whatever. But I'm looking for like the whole dashboard to be optimized because it is so slow and sluggish. One of the things I felt like I wanted to talk about from this dashboard update thing that's coming with the customization is how Microsoft has had it right with the Xbox 360 and the friends list. And because they tried to go with this unified Xbox or Microsoft Windows 8 look and feel and design, it like totally changed the scope for them about how things work. Like, do you feel like this friends list is more efficient than the one that's on the Xbox 360?
I'm. It's hard to say when friends list was down for 2 days recently. But no, I think in the end it's not as good. Personally, I mean, like all the tools are there to make it kind of useful. It's just the way it's buried is a pain in the ass. And really, the big thing is not being able to hit X to invite, and like same thing with delete messages. So you can't just press one button to delete or invite or anything. Like those are the biggest things for me.
Perez says it's sad that the 360 interface is better than the Xbox One. I mean, I feel you, man. I just feel like they tried to mix two things, like make it all uniform with the tile look of Windows 8, and I don't know, man. It's definitely not where it needs to be. But I mean, they've slowly been trying to turn things around and get things back on track. But it just sucks that like it wasn't right out of the gate. You know what I mean? Especially like, here's the thing that's crazy to me. The Xbox 360 was out for 7 years, right? 2005 to so 8 years, and they honed in and specifically like tested this and got this thing working. And by the end of the life cycle, you're like, man, the friends list, all this stuff is fantastic. And then it's like, once they got to the Xbox One, they were like, oh, we completely forgot all of the things that we had right, that we worked 7 years to get right. Let's just reset and start at ground zero. That's like crazy to me, man. That's crazy. Why would you do that? That's just like, and now they're trying to get back to parity with the Xbox 360, and it's just like, man, you had all that work done, you just threw it down the drain. Crazy. You have a good feeling about Windows 10? I think I have a pretty good feeling. I mean, when Microsoft is pretty consistent with how they do their updates, right? Like they have one bad one, and then they release a good one, then a bad one, then a good one, then a bad one, then a good one. So I mean, based on their track history and track record, that seems like 10 is going to be better. Ch- ch- ch-
Hadn't seen this. Apparently, it's happened today. They confirmed Advanced Warfare. They moved Dead Silence to a EXO ability now, where it actually mutes sound for 20 or 30 seconds.
oh,
But you'd have to take that over other stuff,
I wouldn't.
like picking it over Cloak or Stim or Shield or something like that. There's no way you'd be able to do that. Maybe in Search and Destroy, I guess.
There's a technical preview for Windows 10. Elite says, I wish you could stream to the X1, like stream music to the X1 like on the 360 would make Destiny grinding a lot more fun.
Probably do
Never
that, right?
raise. There's a technical preview for Windows 10. They do have the new Windows or Xbox Media, whatever it's called. I don't know if you can
Yeah.
stream music.
I'm pretty sure you can.
I feel like Sony is lucky Microsoft made so many mistakes.
Last gen? Oh, the other way. I see.
The other way, this gen, yeah. By the way, here's the new Astro lineup.
I'm kind
Looking.
of cynical about Astros after all the cable problems I've had.
They don't use cables anymore, Colin. It's wireless.
The A40 does.
I haven't had too many issues. I think the only issue I had was that one screw, dude. You know what I'm talking about? The one that always pops out?
Yeah.
Like I have my A40s that screw just keeps popping out. No matter how tight I make it, no matter what I do, if I change the screw, nothing. Still pops out.
Rebroadcast for this episode is muted for the first 28 minutes. You can't possibly have rebroadcast up. Oh, he's talking about on Twitch?
Oh, because I played
Is
Childish
that-
Gambino.
Yeah. That's why we upload to YouTube without music.
Yep.
Yeah, I see that. And I haven't used the Polk Xbox One headset at all.
Oh, their mix amp is what?
Saying Astro's mix amp is the shit.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
I just always had that little crappy tiny cable that went into the controller on 360. That one always sucked, and then the part where it latched on here, I've had tons of issues with this on the A40s. They had good support though, so I was able to get that stuff replaced usually. I don't know how it is nowadays.
Astro's overrated audio quality.
I don't know. For gaming, I just have everything boosted, so it doesn't really mean much.
Any questions? Any questions before we sign off for the day? Quick episode.
Light
Should
news
just-
week.
Yes, light, very light. And if the show is muted at the beginning and I can't pull that audio, I'll just have to upload from my local file.
Yeah. Since when are we on that instant mute?
I don't know.
We're not really
Weird.
big time enough.
I don't know. Have either ever used the Polk Xbox One headsets?
Nah, I said no.
Oh, no, I hadn't used it. Sorry, people, I missed that. Face scans? That was a good laugh. That was the best. That was the best, I think, episode of Colin when you guys get him, like, and his gut-wrenching laugh. Like,
Can't stop once it starts.
The laugh that makes you laugh. Is anyone getting Sunset Overdrive? Hell, I forgot that game was coming out.
Probably not getting it.
I don't think so. I talked about it, renting it, if that's an option. Is the game capture HD 60 good? Yes, it is good. If only I had more 60 FPS games on console, that would be fantastic. His laugh needs to be a new subscriber layout.
All right, we good to wrap up?
Yep, looks like
We're
it.
good. Short show this week.
Yep. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Have it up on YouTube here shortly. If you're over there, make sure to give the video a big old like. Spread the love. Tell them Frag Logic is in your house. You watched it.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.
All right. Later.